up, everybody? Welcome to week 3 here on the 52 Horrific Weeks in 1988 series. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in. Alrighty, so guys, week 3 is here. So I put all the films into the randomizer, hit that random button, and we have The Unholy. It's been a while since I've checked this one out, so like I say every week, though, I'm always excited for what's going to pop up. But, so The Unholy from 1988. This one's actually starring Ned Beatty's in this film. I always think of him from Deliverance. Actually, he was one of the guys in Deliverance, so such a famous film. He plays a detective in this movie. So basically, the plot of this one. So you have like a string of murders that are happening in this church in New Orleans. Of course, New Orleans is known for its black magic and voodoo and Satanists and the occult stuff, all that kind of stuff that goes on there. So people are very kind of superstitious and they have a lot of different type of beliefs in New Orleans and stuff. So basically, what happens is there's a couple murders that happen in this local church, and more specifically, they're priests. They get killed. This one guy gets killed in the beginning of the film, and then another priest ends up getting killed too in the same church. So what they do is they basically, kind of shut down this church because the local police have no idea what had happened to these priests and stuff. They had no leads, nothing. So the cases went basically, stale. So it jumps to 3 years later, and basically what it is Father Michael, played by, what's his name, Ben Cross. He gets called out to this building where this guy is about to jump or commit suicide. The guy that's up on top of the building asked the police specifically for Father Michael to come out there. So once Father Michael gets to this building, he's talking with the police and stuff, and the police ask him, they're like, do you know this guy? And he's like, no, I have no idea who he is. So they're all confused on how he knows who Father Michael is and stuff. Anyways, one thing leads to another. He's trying to talk to this guy, and the guy that's out on the ledge of this building actually throws Father Michael out the building, and he was about 17 stories up. And next thing you know, he wakes up in the hospital, and he is basically not hurt at all. Father Michael doesn't even have a broken bone, doesn't have a scratch. Nothing has happened to him. So the bishop, the head bishop of these churches, he basically, they find out about this and they appoint him to be the new priest at this church where these murders had happened, because they kind of think that he's the chosen one. Something happened in that building and they don't know what it was, but he didn't get hurt, and now he's appointed as the, they think he's the chosen one, so he becomes the head priest of this church, and they reopen the church for business. They reopen the church. But little does Father Michael know that, the bishop and, his appointer, they know a little more than he does. He's appointed, the head of this church for a reason, because, they know that something evil has been happening there. They know a little more than the police and anybody else or everyone else about these murders and stuff, and what could possibly have happened and stuff. So, so then it kind of comes down to, this police officer, Ned Beatty, he is, trying to investigate these murders and stuff, and he's trying to let Father Michael know, for him not to get involved with certain people and stuff. And, he's trying to Father Michael's taken it upon himself to basically kind of figure out what the hell happened to these priests and stuff. And, one thing leads to another, and he ends up at this club where, he's talking to this girl that she was kind of like prime suspect in these other murders and stuff. And she works for this kind of guy that practices, like, he does like kind of via cult satanic shows in this club and stuff. So he's kind of a weird guy and stuff. And, one thing leads to, him being a suspect in these murders also and stuff. But basically what it comes down to is it's actually a demon. This isn't really giving anything away, but it turns out it's like the Unholy is actually a demon that basically what it does is it's like this kind of supernatural special demon sent from hell, and basically what it does is it makes you, you know, kind of commit sins, and as you're committing a sin, it kills you and it sends your soul to hell. And so that's what this Deiditas, or I think that's what it's called, or something like that, also known as the Unholy, has been doing with these priests and stuff. So, you know, it kind of takes shape and form of like humans and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, you know, these priests, they've, you know, succumbed to their, you know, their temptations and stuff, and then they're killed. And so Father Michael has been appointed because they think he's, you know, the chosen one, and he's pretty much the only person that can send this demon back to hell forever. So, you know, that's basically the entire plot of the film. I'm sure that just took like 10 minutes to describe, or to, you know, oh, wow. This one does actually have quite a bit of story to it. But yeah, so my thoughts on this one. First off, this, you know, obviously from 1988, this movie has a really cool feel to it. It feels totally like a fucking straight 80s film. It has a really cool atmosphere to it. You know, it feels so 80s. The soundtrack's really cool. It's got like kind of like low lighting. The club scenes, and even in the church, and pretty much every scene in the film kind of feels like it's like in an underworld type world type atmosphere kind of deal. It's really cool. There's actually scenes in this that kind of reminded me of the Lost Boys a little bit. It's nothing like the Lost Boys. It was just, I think, the tone of it and just kind of the low lighting and the smoke, and I don't know, there were certain things about that kind of reminded me of that. But you know, as for the effects in this film, they're actually pretty well done. The demons at the end are almost laughable, but really fun to watch and pretty hilarious. But there's some pretty decent fucking gore in this movie, I gotta say. There's not a whole lot, but when it happens, it's pretty good. The acting overall is pretty well done. A little bit of nudity. But the overall feel and tone of the film is really well done. I really like how they captured it. It has a really strong beginning and really strong end. The imagery in the end of this movie is really fucking done well. It's got some really nasty, sadistic things going on in the last 20-25 minutes. Basically when Father Michael is, you know, fighting off the Unholy and stuff. Very fucking cool. But yeah, you know, overall it's just it's a really fun film. I think the middle parts drag a little bit. I think, you know, I don't know, man. I don't really even know if they should have had the whole line with the detective in there and stuff. I guess it was kind of needed to, you know, to get Father Michael, you know, kind of investigating his own thing and finding out things from the club. And but, you know, there was parts in the middle that did kind of drag out a little bit, but not so much. It is still very interesting throughout the film. It runs about 100 minutes, so it's a little long, but you know, still very enjoyable. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a great film overall. Like I said, you know, just a great atmospheric, you know, religious base, you know, kind of good versus evil, you know, the priest versus, you know, the demon type story. But yeah, just really well done. I really highly would recommend this movie. I know this movie was actually part of that famous 8-pack by Lionsgate. This is the Region 2 release. It's uncut, so everything's in there. But yeah, I do highly recommend this movie. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it a good 7.5 out of 10. It's actually one of my more favorite kind of religious type based films. This one kind of sits up in the same realm as The Church by Michel Sauvier for me. I think that movie's really brilliantly done, really well shot, like this one. This one has a little more cheesy effects in it, but you know, like I said, I don't want to give the demons away at the end, but they are actually quite funny. But yeah, The Unholy, very cool film. I highly recommend this, and yeah, I'm sure this review just went on for fucking 10 minutes, because this is actually, I didn't realize how long it was going to take to, you know, kind of get into the plot of this one, or get the whole plot worked out. But yeah, The Unholy, definitely check this out. It's very, very cool. Yeah, so week 3 here on 1988. Of course, I'll be back next week, and I do not know what the movie's going to be, as usual. Alright guys, so thank you for watching and subscribing. Means a lot. I know this series is started off really well. People are really digging it, so like I said, check out The Unholy. Very, very cool. I think this movie only has a release in Region 1 on that 8-pack, so you can seek it out in the Region 2, though. But yes, guys, I'll be back next week. Peace out, homies.